Progress.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Your Honor. Aye.
Hey, Mr. Jordan.
Good afternoon, Judge.
All right, we ready to start?
Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. And this is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been accused of certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them. And these cases have been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge. And we are able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignments, and plea offers if they have been made by the state at this juncture. I will begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. Govern yourselves accordingly. I want to also remind the defendants that you have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to representation at this time, and all of you should know who your attorneys are. You also have a constitutional right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and or the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. The state's here and they're listening. All right, who do we have first?
Your Honor, can we do the conflict cases first? It's going to be position 2 and position 1 on the add-on.
Okay. And that's for Ms. McLeod.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Only one of them is mine, to my understanding. If there's another one, I don't have the information on that one yet.
It's just one conflict case.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be representing a wife as a public defender.
Yeah, that's position 2 that's in front of you now, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. This is 23 CR 0055552G. Millicent, is it Cleat or Cleat?
Quiet.
Cleat. All right. Simple battery family violence pretrial.
Third arrest. The last arrest was in the 90s, as well as his as well.
Okay. All right. Stay.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened yesterday around 5 p.m. The defendant admitted when officers arrived that she got into a physical fight with her husband, Mr. Millicent Cleat, and she advised officers that she pushed and shoved him. Considering that her last arrest was in 1999, the state is asking, give me 1 second, my computer's acting weird. Yeah, the state is asking for a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial. We're going to defer to you on whether to have a stay away or no further contact. But the state does want 1 day of anger awareness.
Okay. Is the victim on the line, Mr. Cleat?
The victim should be at that jail, Your Honor.
He's actually the add-on position 1. He's in the courtroom.
Oh, okay. It's a dual arrest.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. McLeod?
It's Ms. Kim, Your Honor. I represent Mr. Clare.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 69 years old, or we would like to request for no further violent contact. She wants to continue her contact with him. They have been known each other for 38 years. They have been indeed married for more than 36 years. They have 3 children together, 10 grandkids, 4 great grandkids, and this happened out for the first time ever. And they want to, they still have a good relationship. It was a neighbor who called the police. Nobody was really scared of each other. We would like to request for a signature on bond and also no further violent contact. Thank you. Besides,
right.
Your Honor, they are USPS Postal Service romance. They met there, worked together, retired together, Your Honor.
All right. Maybe I'll go ahead and hear add-on 1 and make my decision. Let me call that one 23 CR 005560G pretrial with Elvilio Cleat, 1 count of simple battery, family violence. Pretrial.
I'm sorry, I had to take a call. Who we on?
The add-on 1, Mr. Cleat.
His last arrest was in 1990.
I thought you read that to me, the wife, Millicent. Cleat.
I said both, Judge.
Both. Okay, didn't hear you.
All right.
All right. Thank you. All right, Ms. McLeod, do you want to present on that one?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 67 years old. As Speedy Kim stated, this couple have been in a long-term marriage. They've been married for 38 years, my client tells me. They have children together, grandchildren together, and great-grandchildren together. This was just a situation where they got a little loud and the neighbors took it upon themselves to call the police. Neither party appears to be afraid of each other, to feel threatened in any way by the other one. My client tells me he definitely wants to continue to have contact with his wife, who is known for more than half of his lifetime. And he's not in the least bit afraid or intimidated by her, Your Honor, and he wants to go home to continue his relationship with her. Given that he has no significant criminal history, I understand the last arrest was in 1990, which is 33 years ago, Your Honor. I would definitely ask for a signature bond for my client, condition on no further violent contact with his wife.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I just want to put it on record. I know it's rather old, but I mean, the male defendant, he does have an ag assault, false report of a crime that was dismissed, but then he also has a 1990 simple battery. And considering that this incident just happened yesterday at 5 p.m. and it's the neighbor called because they were shoving and pushing and fighting each other, there hasn't been an adequate cooling off period. The state's not against no further contact or no further violent contact, but the parties seem to be separate at this moment. Regardless of if they've been married for 38 years, they were fighting to the point that a neighbor had a call for the police to come to their home. So yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, they were arrested together. They have been in the jail together because I spoke to my client. When I spoke to my client, Mrs. Cleat was right there. They have absolutely no issues with each other. Someone else took it upon themselves to call the police when this couple was just having, a disagreement. They've been married for 38 years, and there's no history of violence between the two of them. I don't think any cooling down period is necessary, Your Honor, and it's just going to cause an inconvenience to both of them. If they have to go and find somewhere else to live, it's going to be inconvenient and inexpensive, and it is not necessary in this case. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm assuming, Ms. Nimini, they could not determine who was the primary aggressor.
No, Your Honor. but they were both physically fighting each other, and it wasn't just a disagreement. They were fighting each other. So, I mean, yesterday, it hasn't even been 24 hours, Your Honor.
Don't do them like that.
Who's talking? Who's royal?
I need them, sure.
Okay. That's not a witness or anything in this case. Okay. All right, I will go back to position 2. With Miss Cleat. I'm going to order the $2,500 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to order that she take the 1-day anger awareness course. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And just trying to make sure that there has been some cooling down, and that we will not see them here again. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to allow them to have no further violent contact and go home to try to work this out, okay? And I'm hoping that the 2 of you do. Also, for the other case with Mr. Cleat, and I didn't hear the recommendation from the state.
It's the same, Your Honor.
Same. All right. $2,500 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to order him to take the 1-day anger awareness course. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And no further violent contact with Mrs. Cleat. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Position number 4, kind of doing them next.
4.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, can we actually have a breakout room for, is it Mr. Gerald?
Yes.
Yes, we need a breakout room for this defendant. Or we can have him last.
I know I see on the chat, PD Kim has asked for a breakout for 2 others. I see what hers are about. Is yours the same thing?
I'm not entirely sure. It's MH issues, Your Honor.
Can
Oh.
we all handle all 3 breakouts together?
That's what I was getting ready to suggest. Yes. Can we hold and get the others out of the way? You want to do the breakouts now or you want to do them at the end?
I would prefer to do it at the end, if possible.
Can we do them now so we can have certain people go to, they have different locations, they have to go throughout the jail?
Oh,
Okay.
okay. We'll go to breakout. Do we want to hear the history before or you want to bring Mr.
They could give it to you in a breakout. Unless you want me to give it to you now. I don't want to tag along.
What's your say, State? Do you want to, you don't,
I can give it to you, Your Honor, when we go in the breakout room. It's not
all
that.
right, we won't make him tag along. All right, put us in a breakout, Mr. Jordan.
Please post Mr. Walker in as well.
Who?
Mr. Walker, please put him in the.
Oh yeah, we got him.
Okay.
Excuse me, Ms. Walker, can you turn your camera off, please? Thank you.
All right, we're back on the record. And we have disposition 4, Mr. Gerald in front of us.
That's correct.
All right, Mr. Gerald, we have discussed your case or had the hearing in the breakout room for a couple of reasons. But I want to at least let you know what my decision is on your bond. And I'm going to give you a $4,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order that you continue with your treatment and medication for MH issues while you're on bond. I'm going to order that you take or get rather an ADET. They'll explain to you what that is. I'm going to order that you have no unprescribed drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no guns while on bond. I'm going to order that you stay away from the incident location. You find somewhere else to live. No further contact with the victim, Clinton Brunch. Is it Brunch
Bunch.
or Bunch? No
Yes.
further contact with him. If you go around him or within 200 yards of him, which is 2 football fields, you stand the chance of being rearrested, okay? I need you to stay away. Anything else, counsel, that I've left out?
Your Honor, the victim and defendant's mom are online and want to speak. If you would like them to speak, Your Honor.
The victim, Mr. Bunch,
Yes, Your Honor.
is he on the line? I don't see or who that is.
Yes, I'm on the line, ma'am. Hello?
Okay. Do you wish to address the court today?
I just wanted to say that I didn't
No,
want to
no,
stay.
no. Answer my question, and if you don't turn on your camera, I can't let you speak, and I have to swear you in first.
Oh, 1 second. Hold on. How can I? Make sure that- Holy. Okay, I'm here. My phone is trying to die. Come on. Technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You
Y'all
just
can
have
go
to
ahead and
move
proceed.
closer to the screen. That's why it's blurred. Just move closer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here. Ah. All right, can you hear me?
All right. We still can't see you. I'm either looking at the fan or your hand or something.
Yeah, this phone is acting.
There you go. You a little closer to it. I can see you now. Just move your hand out.
Okay.
All right. If you want to address the court briefly, I'll need to swear you in first.
Okay, that's fine.
Raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Put your hand down for me. All right. What would you like to say to the court today?
That I didn't want to stay away, order or press any charges or anything. I just think that he needs help with his sobriety and mental health.
Okay. Well, the police were called out and at this point can't dismiss the case, but I've given him a signature bond in order that he get a ADET, which is an alcohol drug evaluation and treatment evaluation, so that if they do recommend and see evidence of that, he will have to adhere to their treatment plan and to stay on any other. medications that he's ordered to be on.
Okay.
And if he doesn't, then he shouldn't be around you, but somebody else may call the police on him. I don't know. But at this point, he's to have no further contact with you and to live somewhere else until his case is over, at least. Okay, because I'm going to order the two of you to stay apart.
Okay.
I think there needs to be some cooling down and for everyone to handle themselves a little better. So this will be the period for the defendant to get things together. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I understand his mother's in the line. I'm not going to allow her to talk. She's not the victim in this case. I've ordered what I've ordered, and I've spoken to the victim. And I'm going to move along. I don't know what the mother's name is.
Lena Gerald.
Oh, the Lanee.
It's Lene Gerald.
Lena.
Okay. Ms. Gerald, don't take it personal. I'm going to move my calendar along.
Your Honor, I just
Oh,
want to
please,
make a
please.
record. I want to put it on record that we do object to ADET since he was not sentenced and there is no evidence that he was actually involved in any kind of AD issues. So we would like to object. Thank you.
And the state's
All
going to just put it on record that officers did see him with a bottle of Amsterdam vodka running past the officers, and when told to put the bottle down, refused to comply.
All right, thank you. All right, that should conclude this matter for now.
Position 5, Ms. Hill.
This is 23 CR 005555Y. Calvina Hill, charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct, 2nd count of simple battery, family violence.
The fourth arrest. 2011 was the last failure to appear and a battery DV conviction. Before that was a 05 assault conviction.
Okay. All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened September 14th at 528 Emily Place Northwest, apartment B in Atlanta. Officers responded to a 911 call concerning a domestic dispute between a daughter and a mother. Upon arrival, they met with the defendant, who stated her daughter had disrespected her and her deceased mother. Officers could smell the alcohol on the defendant's breath as she talked to her. The victim came out shortly and explained that she had gone downstairs to the main floor to heat up some food for her children. And that's when, and she had closed the door, and that's when the defendant approached her screaming, asking her why she locked the children in the room. The victim, Miss Kalia Day, told her mother that it was closed and she was going to return to the children once the food was ready. And then that's when the defendant called her daughter a B word. In response, the victim called the mother a B word as well. And that's when defendant got upset and shoved her daughter, and that's there's video footage that officers were provided where defendant is approaching her daughter with hands forward like she's about to touch her. Then a scuffle begins between the two parties, and then the defendant did say that she was upset with her daughter because she had locked the children upstairs, and then the daughter had said something about her deceased mother, and when they got upset, the daughter said, "That is why your mother," I'm sorry, Your Honor. The daughter said, "That is why your mother is dead." And then that's when the incident occurred. However, while the officers were trying to see who was the primary aggressor in the dispute, that's when Miss Hill and Miss Day, the victim, started yelling at each other outside the residence. Both females were calling each other insulting names. And then the defendant yelled to her daughter that I'm going to, quote, beat her ass. And she was advised by officers to stop shouting, which they did. And then, but the defendant continued to yell and insult her along with threats. And that's when officers arrested the defendant. So considering the state was able to speak to the daughter, who states that she lives at the residence with her twin sister, her two other siblings, and her children's ages 1 and 3. They don't have a domestic violence history, and she's not afraid of her mother. But she did confirm that what happened did indeed happen, but she does want no further violent contact, and she wants the defendant to return to the residence. So the state is asking for a $2,500 surety bond to stay away from that specific location, considering the cooling off period. It's been a day and a half. No further contact with Miss Calvina Hill. No alcohol, drugs, guns, or weapons, Your Honor.
The breakdown.
1,500 for this. No, 1,000 for the disorderly conduct, and 1,500 for the simple battery.
Your Honor, we would like to recommend for signature on bond. The one that was battery family violence not that long ago, actually, she was a victim of domestic violence. Her ex-husband was very abusive. She was defending herself. And Your Honor, my client, there was no evidence that she was drunken to the point that she lost her consciousness or her cognitivity at this point. Your Honor, she was a certified nursing assistant, and also she was a medical assistant. And her mother was the very last person that she took care of as a patient. And it means a lot, extremely sensitive for her to even think about her mother who recently passed away. It brings a lot of grief, and she does felt very disrespected and offended by the comment that complaining witness made that was not respectful at all. Your Honor, my client is currently qualified for public defender services because of her unemployment for the last few months. She has not been able to get her job, and however, she successfully completed her high school. And we would like to request for signature on bond and no further violent contact for the sake of her 2 grandchildren that she is actually taking care of for the complaining witness. And also she has 4 other children, and 3 of them are minors. And she's basically almost sole breadwinner for them. And her 21 years old daughter, who is another older daughter, they are the ones who actually take care of complaining witness and her 2 minor children and my client's 2 minor children, Your Honor. So we're talking about 6 children here that she is responsible to take care of. So please grant her further violent contact. No further violent contact, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Your Honor, I know, I apologize, and I know that her history she hasn't had a violent history in some time. However, she does have 2 ag assault cases from 1998, 2005, and then the battery case, and then a failure to appear in Colorado, and then a failure to appear for the battery. Generally, we would, considering the state would likely give a signature. However, there's history of violence, and the state does believe that the 2,500 surety is reasonable because there's a history.
Your Honor, because of her financial challenge, she's qualified for public defender services. There's no way she's going to be able to make any bond payment. She does not have a husband to support, and she has nobody else who can pay for her.
Okay. Oh, how old is she? I didn't hear that. I don't have that.
54 years old, Your Honor, and her daughter is 20 years old, and she's the one who has 2 babies, 1 and 3, and she cannot work. Her complaining witness has not worked ever. So because of that, it is my client who's basically taking care of 2 grandchildren.
Okay. I'm going to, and did you tell me, is she retired or working? I don't remember you.
She retired from medical assistance and being a nursing assistant, and she has gotten other jobs, but she does not have a job at this point. For about 2 months, she has not had any jobs.
Okay. All right, I will order a, $3,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order that breakdown, Michael, will be 2,500 on the battery and 1,000 on the disorderly. And with that, I'll order a stay away from Emily Place Northwest. So that there is a proper cooling down period. No further contact with the victim, Calvina Hill. And I don't know whose address that is or who resides there. I think you said that another sister or something.
Yes.
And another. Well, let's make sure there's a cooling down period by having her to stay away from the home while she's on bond or until you all submit a modification. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that's all I'll order at this time.
Your Honor, the place is actually my client's place. She's the one who's on the lease. She's a leaseholder. And would it be possible if Miss Daye goes to another place and then she can return to her home?
Well, I guess the only way, I don't know if Miss Hill, if she's only 20, don't try to displace my victims if she has anywhere else to go with the victim in the case. Try not to do that.
Can we define the cooling period time as a 2 days, 48 hours, Your Honor? Usually it's only 24 hours.
Miss Nimini, did you all speak with Miss Hill, you said?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what did she say she did or didn't want to have contact with her mom?
She just wants no further violent contact.
All right, I will remove the stay away and have no further violent contact. Reluctantly, so hopefully they're ready to put this behind them and work on getting along. You can do that, Miss Hill? Okay. All right, I will allow you to go back. No further violent contact. You will be on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Number 7.
To Chanel Curlew, 23 CR 0055557G. Charge of 1 count of battery, family violence, free trial.
Second arrest, got a 2019 arrest out of Pennsylvania for drugs. It says cosmetic act. She was recommended.
Okay.
Yes,
State.
yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 714 Bryan Street. They spoke to the resident/victim, Ms. Nija Gordon. She advised that the defendant came to her home in an effort to fight her. The couple were in a relationship, I believe, previously for around 2 years. When the defendant entered the home, a verbal altercation started. The defendant picked up a wooden stick and struck Ms. Nija Gordon with it. She did call law enforcement, and the defendant was arrested for battery, family violence. We are asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Nija Gordon, and to stay away from the incident location, along with no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
Okay.
Your Honor, I was hoping to reach Naija Gordon, but I could not reach her. This happened on March 3, 2023, almost 6 months ago. And after that incident, they have been still living together. They are in a good relationship. We would like to request for no further violent contact. And also she's recommended, so I would like to ask for signature on bond for her battery family violence. She is gainfully employed at local Roots Bakery as an executive pastry chef. She has culinary school education, associate degree. Also, she has been here in Georgia for more than a year. We would like to request for signature on bond and no further violent contact. Thanks.
What's the
We
age of
have
Miss
had contact
Curlew?
with the victim. She
Oh, she
advised.
is 32 years old, Your Honor. I apologize, Mr.
Okay.
Walker. Go ahead.
The victim advised that her and the defendant are not living together currently. She did say that she was not fearful, but however, they are not living together. But the state is maintaining its recommendation of no further contact and to stay away from the incident location, especially in light of the fact that they do not live together.
All right.
Then we would like to request for a signature on bond. Naija Gordon is the only one who can bond her out. She's from New York. She has been here for 1 year, but it's like her job and her education only.
Well, I wouldn't recommend that the victim bonds out the defendant, but again, we're asking for no contact and to stay away.
And I guess my only concern, ASG Walker, is that it did happen in March. I know she may have just been picked up because I don't have those on my calendar anymore.
That's because she was just picked up. So I mean, it's the state's opinion that if you have a warrant and I mean she's been wanted. I can't say that she's been on the run, but she's been wanted since March. It's September.
No, she didn't even know about it. Nobody called. It was the neighbor, maybe. She didn't know until yesterday.
I mean, you allege that they're still in a relationship, so you're saying she didn't know that her ex-girlfriend called the police on her, but they're still in a relationship? That doesn't make sense.
What I'll do is I will order a $3,500 signature bond. I'm going to order that signature bond through the pretrial services. I'm going to order a 1-day anger awareness course. I'm going to order a stay away from 714 Bryant Street. And I will order no further violent contact. I usually don't do it with the stay away, but I'm going to do it with the stay away and no further violent contact. But she has to stay away from that address.
Yes.
No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Position 8 is Smith.
This is 23 CR 00555 8C, Chelsea Smith. And pretrial, I think we already know, but you can give me the history.
Y'all already talked about this?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, fifth arrest, 2014.
You said fifth arrest?
Yeah, 2014 shoplifting Nolo. 2013 trespass, simple battery, theft by taking cruelty to children.
All right. And so we did discuss this in the breakout.
Oh.
And I believe what I ordered at that time, was there anything else we needed to discuss, council? I don't think so.
No, just again, the state's recommendation was a $3,500 surety bond in total, 1,000 to the simple battery, 1,000 to the shoplifting, and 1,500 to the obstruction. And of course, we're asking for a stay away from the instant location and no further contact with the victim who works at that location. Her name is Kay Hayes.
And what were you gonna say, PD Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, I didn't have chance to argue for her.
Okay.
So I would like to do that. She is 37 years old. She was born in Illinois. However, she moved to Georgia. Your Honor, my client denies the allegation. There, if we read the warrant, there was unknown suspect, and third, unidentified female. My client was actually working at Publix. She was wearing deli shirt. That's where she used to work. And she was actually helping out Michelle, who is basically unknown suspect in the warrant, saying that that person was picking up the groceries that was already paid, and they have an in-store pickup service. So that's why she was helping her. She was just there to upload somebody else's groceries that she thought it was all paid for. So we would like to request for, she says she is completely innocent for this case. We would like to request for signature on bond. And she's, because of this incident, she is actually suspended from the job. So she is qualified for public defender services. She has no income as of now. And Your Honor, we would like to request for signature on bond. Her financial indigency is very serious as of now. Thank you.
Okay, well, I really wasn't going to all this, but none of that is true. She actually is on camera stealing. They actually have pictures of her. Now, it is true that she works at Publix. She works at another location. The manager at this location on the Publix Boulevard put into the work email her picture as a known thief, and she was identified by her manager at the location that she works at, but she was not there in a work capacity. I guess she thought if she had her Publix uniform on that she wouldn't be caught stealing. But she in fact was caught stealing, and she was not helping anybody load their groceries in. Again, when law enforcement came onto the scene, she actually almost hit a police officer trying to flee. So if you're trying to help someone load their groceries, that doesn't explain you running from the police. With that being said, she's a known thief. She has an open felony case for theft that she's currently being held on, no bond. So this is not a misunderstanding. She was not there in a work capacity. She tried to, I guess, disguise herself by using her Publix uniform and going to a Publix location that she does not work at, and just try to blatantly walk out of the store without paying for her items. She has several boxes of chicken and random grocery items. And again, she almost hit a police officer trying to flee from the scene. So this was not a misunderstanding. She was not there on the schedule. She does not work at that location, and she was suspended from her job because, again, they identified her as an employee from another location, and that's why she was suspended for stealing in her uniform at that. So
she is presumed to be innocent. I don't think it is appropriate for her to be called as a thief at this point. So I totally object to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Your Honor, please be considerate of her two children. 15 years old, he has an autistic child, and also 7 years old. And they are right now with their neighbors because her mom is in the jail. We would like to ask for signature on bond so she can return home to take care of her two children and her own medical condition. Thank you.
and again, I would remind the court that this just isn't a theft case. It's a simple battery, because on her way out of the store stealing, she bopped somebody in the head with a roll of paper towels. So not only is she stealing, but she's a violent theft. So
All right, I'll order the $3,500 surety bond. 1,000, 1,000, and 1,500. Breakdown, Michael. And then or order a stay away from the Publix on Marietta Boulevard. And no
And Your Honor,
further
sorry to interrupt. We're going to ask for a stay away from all Publix within Fulton County. Even defense has said that she's actually suspended from Publix, so she really has no reason to be at any Publix within the county.
until her case is over. Because I guess, you know, again, she'll have to find some other place to work. I usually don't say all of them, but I know that PD Kim's gonna object to that, but
And
I
I'm
think
asking for that because she was using her Publix uniform as a way to almost conceal her identity, if you will.
Mhm,
So that's the state's concern.
okay. PD Kim,
Yes, Your Honor. Her suspension is subject to, if she is proven to be innocent, she is allowed to return to the work. So as of now, I don't think she should be suspended from all the Publix.
Well, if she's proven to be innocent, that means she'll no longer be out on bond and the bond condition wouldn't apply. So, I mean, if they're waiting for the final disposition of this case, bond would no longer be an issue. So, again, she was using her work uniform to try to conceal her identity in an effort to steal
I
these
don't think,
items.
Your Honor, out of respect, I would like to object to her motives. Just because she was wearing Publix uniform, that does not mean she had an intention to conceal her identity. That's kind of too much.
Well, I mean, I would hope that's the case because otherwise, I'm not sure why you would wear a Publix uniform and then go somewhere to steal at another Publix. I mean, that's just outlandish.
okay. I think I'm going to order a $3,500 surety bond, 1,000, 1,000, 1,500. I'm gonna stick to the surety bond. No further contact with the victim. And to stay away from all Publix while on bond. So Ms. Smith, you have no reason to go to any Publix. You gotta shop at Kroger. And so, or any other store, but do not go back to any Publix while you're on bond for this case. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that's it. Anything else?
Nothing from the state.
Okay. Next.
Number 1, Carter.
This is 23 CR 0055551A. Carrie Carter, charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence. Pretrial.
11 adult arrests. Last was 2022, suspended license. I didn't see any violence in this history.
Okay. State.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened August 18th of this year at 714 Bryan Street Southeast. Officers responded to that location based on a dispute call, and they spoke with the victim, Ms. Quinice Hightower, who stated that her boyfriend had struck her while they were at home. She was feeding her baby the medicine, and the baby spit it out, and she popped her daughter on the hand, and the accused became upset and struck her in the face. And then he left for work. The call was actually made by a neighbor who heard screaming. Both parties lived together. The state is asking for a $3,500 surety bond. Stay away from that specific location. No further contact with Ms. Quinice Hightower. No alcohol, drugs, guns, or weapons, and 1 day of anger awareness. There isn't many there's not many violent offenses, but there is an offense that from 2010, which is a little back in a way, but just carrying a pistol in a school zone, carrying a pistol without a license, carrying a pistol, the person under 18, abandonment of a dependent child, obstruction. Yeah, I just, based on, the fact that she was feeding the baby and she just, just tapped the baby and then he hit her and just left. The state does believe that the 3,500 is reasonable, Your Honor. And he has 3 open cases. Yeah, but they're mostly traffic.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 37 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. And Your Honor, they have 2 years old baby right now. And this happened on August 18, about a month, one more than a month ago, Your Honor. And I would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial, and also no further violent contact, since they still have a relationship together and they live together as of now. He has been gainfully employed as a janitor at World of Coca-Cola for the last 2 years. He does have a steady job. He completed his GED, and he is a sole provider for his family, he and his girlfriend and his 2 years old baby. There was no violent history, so I think he needs a signature on bond through the pretrial, Your Honor. Thank you.
And last thing, Your Honor, I mean, considering that even though there isn't violent history, I think the fact that a neighbor called that heard screaming, we don't know how much he hit her or how hard he hit her. Yes, it's been less than a month, but the state is going to stand with that, stay away and no further contact with the victim.
Okay.
The state wasn't able to speak to the victim, Your Honor.
What's the relationship between the victim and the defendant?
Girlfriend, boyfriend, Your Honor,
Okay.
with a baby. They have baby together.
All right. I will order that.
Oh, it says the queeness is here. I see the
Oh.
text.
Let's see. It's
I mean,
victim
yes, at iPhone.
is it Quinice
Hightower.
Hightower?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Hightower? Oh, is that you? There you go. Do you wish to address the court today?
Yes.
Raise your right hand for me so I can swear you in first. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you in fear of Mr. Carter?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to have any contact with him?
Yes, ma'am.
But you are in fear of him?
Oh, no, I'm not. No, ma'am. I didn't hear your question. Sorry about that.
Okay. You all have a child together?
Yes, ma'am.
How old is your child?
She 2. She'll be 3 in November.
Okay. And anything else that you'd like to say?
It was a misunderstanding. Like, we don't fight. We don't have disagreement. Like, we talk our stuff out. That what the neighbor heard yelling, it was us just yelling back and forth at each other. Like, if it was a disagreement, like, we don't do this. So you ain't never got to worry about us.
Okay. Any cross-examination?
No, Your Honor, but I just want to, considering the child's almost 2 years old, this happened last month. The state didn't ask, and the state didn't add a cruelty to children, considering that, he did hit her. And this happened in the presence of a child, considering that the victim does state that they were arguing back and forth. That is problematic for a child to be present in front of that. So that's the only thing the state has to say. Yeah, Your Honor.
Okay. I think I'll do the $3,500 surety bond. I'm going to order meant to ask this earlier, whose apartment is, or is this a house or apartment 741 Bryan Street.
Yes, Your Honor, apartment number 5A.
And whose location is that?
Actually, it is Queen's High Towers location. They live together.
Okay, well, Mr. Carter, I need you to find somewhere else to go stay. I'm gonna order a stay away. To make sure that everyone will be safe. Gonna order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that's it for now.
So, Your Honor, can he have a one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to retrieve his personal belongings? And also
Yes.
third-party transfer for child visitation? They have a 2 years old together.
Yes, so one-time law enforcement escort for you to return Mr. Carter to get your personal belongings.
Your Honor, were you against the 1-day anger awareness?
Yes, this is not through pretrial or anything. I don't know if he has the means to pay for it. I'll let y'all do that later. So the one-time escort, and if there's visitation allowed, it must be coordinated or facilitated by a third party so that the parties will not be around each other. Anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you.
Position 3.
This is 23 CR 005553B, Fiance Garnham, charged with 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property. Pretrial?
Fifth arrest. Last was 2022 probation. On probation in Pike County. Identity theft fraud. 2020 probation. 2019 battery DV disorderly conduct conviction.
Okay. State?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened September 15th of this year at 80 Lucky Street, also known as the Adderall Learning Center at Georgia State University. Defendant received a stolen black Samsung phone from an unknown male. The unidentified male told him that he had just stole the phone from the Georgia State Adderall Learning Center. Defendant stated that the unknown male also told him that he wanted to unlock the phone, but defendant was unable to unlock the phone. And considering that he was unable to unlock the phone, he attempted to sell the phone back to a Georgia State employee for $35. The bond is currently at 1,000 surety. The state is asking to raise it to a 4,000 signature through pretrial, considering the identity theft, 2 counts, first offender, and then his history for violating his probation.
All right, so you said it's a 1,000 and the state is recommending a 4,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, PD Kim.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, I'll order that $4,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. I don't recall if he was recommended or not.
He's on probation, so no.
Oh, no. Okay. Let me order that through the jail. I'm going to order stay away from 80 Lucky Street. And I didn't hear any victims or anything. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. All right, anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Defendant is raising his hand. Does he have a question about his bond?
No, ma'am, I'll work.
Mr. Garnham, please do not say anything. You got the signature on bond through jail. You can walk out without making any payment. Please do not say anything.
I'm
You
not
have a
saying-
right to
I'm not-
remain silent.
I'm not saying, I'm talking about where I work at. I'll work on Forsyth by Big Dave. That's right there by Lincoln Street.
Oh, you work in Perry?
Yeah, like I work at Big Days on Forsyth. So that's right there by Lucky Street. That's
But it's
all.
not Georgia State Adderall. He needs to stay away from Georgia State Adderall Learning Center specifically.
That's all. That's it.
Okay, so we can, well, is that Georgia State Learning Center, is that 80 Lucky Street? Is that the address of it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your job is how close to that, Mr. Garnham?
Probably living on, cause I'm surrounded by Georgia State. I Big Days is like this, right there by Rizzo Park.
It's
So
not that close, Your Honor.
It's not that close?
It's not that close.
Is it a football field away? I just don't want you to go
Yeah.
to that block at least, okay?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, just don't go back over to that area. If they see you, they might call the police on you, so stay away from over by Georgia State in that Lucky Street. Don't
Alright.
go to that block, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Now, position 6,
okay. This is 23 CR 005556B, Cedric Howell, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Pre-trial?
17 total. Last arrest was 2017. Contributing to delinquency of a minor. Cruelty in the second. Got a 2012 battery DV, disorderly conduct conviction.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. The state is just going to be asked for $1,000 surety. I'm sorry, $1,000 signature bond through the jail with the condition of staying away from MARTA. At the time of this arrest, he had previously been suspended from MARTA, and they now have renewed that suspension for another 90 days. So the state is just asking for a complete stay away from MARTA and $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Okay,
Your Honor, I have no objection to stay away. I mean, signature on bond through jail, but he is gainfully employed at Alpha Eviction, and he has to use MARTA for, transportation to go to work. So as soon as the suspension is over, I want him to be able to go to the work using MARTA. So can we limit restriction to MARTA suspension and that particular location if we have to put any restriction?
well, that would essentially sound like the case was over. If the case is over, but if it's not, I don't, he's already had one and he violated that. So why would I let him go
So
back?
prior to this arrest, he was suspended through October of this year. At the
Mhm.
time of this arrest, they extended an additional 90 days, which puts us into 2024. I'm not sure why he previously was criminally trespassed, but at this rate, we're just asking for a stay away from MARTA.
Yeah, I can't allow him to make it dangerous for citizens to use MARTA. I don't know if we get more into the facts to see what he did, but there's other ways to get around. It just may cost him more. But he can't continue to go back there, and he violated the first time, so I don't want to order him to go back even after 90 days unless the case is over. So I'll grant the $1,000 signature bond through the jail, but I'm going to order him to stay away from all MARTA. He's got to find another way to get around till he can, I guess, there are no allegations of him acting up or doing whatever. Do you show what the facts are, Mr. Walker? What did he do?
It just said that he was recognized by MARTA PD because he had previously been suspended from a prior incident. It didn't reference what the prior incident was. It stated that the current suspension was through the month of October, and at the time of this arrest, they renewed that for an additional 90 days. So I believe that would put him through January or February.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure what he previously did, but he was previously criminally trespassed. He violated it, and he was arrested for violating that suspension.
All right. LPD Kim, he's gonna have to get some ride shares and Uber and Lyft and all that for a while. So got to stay away from MARTA, Mr. Howell. No guns, no alcohol, no weapons while on bond. All right.
We have position number 9, he hasn't been interviewed, so I'm gonna give Mr. Kim a call.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll hang out for a minute, Mr. Jordan. How'd I get lucky? I've had you 2 Saturdays in a row, huh?
Y'all wanna go over the count?
Yeah, we can.
Position 1 is a $3,500 good bond, reset SAP 928. Position 2 is a $2,500 sign-on bond pretrial. Position 3 is a $4,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 4 is a $4,000 sign-on bond jail, $3,000 for count 1, $1,000 for count 2. Position 5, well, Ms. Kim just left. Position 5 is a $3,500 sign-on bond jail, $1,000 for count 1, $2,500 for count 2. Position 6 is a $1,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 7 is a $3,500
Rose.
Mhm. It's bad when I lose Mr. Jordan, isn't it?
Let me call him.
Okay.
He upstairs.
Is it raining down there?
I think it stopped.
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I think I kicked my computer.
Oh, you did that. I said, was it raining down there? Usually that may
No, I think my big feet got in the way.
happen.
Position 7 is a $3,500 sign-on bond pretrial. Position 8 is a $3,500 good bond, $1,000 for counts 1 and 2, and $1,500 for count 3. Reset SAP, and we're still waiting on position 9. The add-on position 1 is a $2,500 sign-on bond through pretrial.
And I forgot to ask you at the beginning, was the SAP reset date 9/28?
9/28/23. Yes, Your Honor.
Gotcha.
Your Honor, actually, the position number 9 is a conflict case, and we, yet it was supposed to be communicated better, but apparently, it has to be represented by Attorney McLeod. So we have to wait for her to interview him. I apologize.
Mm-hmm. When was he arrested?
He was arrested. Oh, it doesn't say it here.
But then 12/12 this morning. Alpharetta.
Oh, Alpharetta this morning.
Yes.
Well, 1:44 this morning. He got arrested at 12/12.
All right. So we could reset him till tomorrow. I don't know how quick. I know
They
usually if it's a weekday, we could probably get McLeod back. I don't know if we want to try that or not.
She's on the phone with him now.
Good.
awesome.
You guys are on it. All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
State, I got first arrest for this case.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I don't know though. I'm gonna defer to them because
Oh.
the file I had looks incomplete.
Oh.
I mean, it could still be, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
defer to them.
I'll double check.
Okay.
Position number 9.
All right, thank you, Ms. McLeod.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
23 CR 005559J, Timothy Stadinsky. I believe that is, if I'm not mispronouncing it. Or Stadinsky, charged at 1 count of battery family violence. And I think pretrial said it was his first.
That's my understanding as well, Your Honor. To the 1 count of battery family violence, the state is requesting a $3,000 surety. Stay away from the incident location, 3311 Commerce Street. No further contact with the victim, Miss Melanie Walker. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the incident location. They spoke with a Miss Melanie Walker. She advised that her and the defendant were engaged in a verbal altercation, at which time he struck the victim, Miss Melanie Walker, several times in her face. I believe the altercation may have started in the bathroom and then it was moved to the kitchen and he struck her again. The officer did observe dried blood on the victim's face. I believe as a result of the defendant smacking the victim, I think he may have hit her in her ear, causing the back of her earring to puncture the side of her neck. And there was puncture wounds on the side of her facial area. We have had contact with the victim, and I believe that she told our victim advocate that during the altercation, she was actually knocked down to the ground. There is a history of domestic violence between these two parties, so the state is concerned about the victim's safety. So again, we are asking for that $3,000 surety, no further contact, and a stay away from the incident location, along with no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Yeah, we see Miss Melanie Walker, so I would ask that the court allow her to speak at the appropriate time.
All right. Ms. Walker, okay. Ms. Walker, would you like to address the court today? Yes, let me swear you in first. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay, thank you. All right, are you in fear of Mr. Stadinsky?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to have any contact with him?
I want the no contact removed because he lost his job and he's got nowhere to go.
Okay.
I just want the no violence, like no violence. He needs a place to stay. We have a 2-bedroom apartment. I can be in the same place with him and he can have 1 bedroom. I can have the other. We're both on the lease. I just don't want any violent action toward me, and same for him. I don't want him not to have a place to go to. I don't feel for my life. I just don't want this altercation ever to happen again in my life.
Okay.
I just want him to be able to come to the apartment so he has a place to put his head and he could sleep and eat, and he's got nowhere to go and he just lost his job. So I don't want to be
You all
heartless.
were working together?
I'm sorry.
You all were working together at the same job?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I work at a different place. I work for a different company. We don't work at the same company.
Okay. All right, any cross-examination?
Just a brief question. Hi, Ms. Walker. My name is Ian Walker. I'm the prosecutor in this matter. Did you have the opportunity to speak with the victim advocate? I believe it's Ms. Gloria Maldonado today.
I did, and I thought about what I said to her, that I don't want him here, but he's got nowhere to go, and I'm not heartless.
Did you tell Ms. Maldonado that you guys have a history of domestic violence, that this is not the first instance?
We have had arguments before, and we have, like every couple, you get heated discussions, and we've
Have there
had
been
that.
physical altercations in the past? Physical ones?
We have gotten argumentative, we have gotten passionate in arguments, yes.
Okay, well, nothing further for me, Your Honor. It's been, well, I know for a fact there's been physical altercations. This is not their first case together. And earlier today, she said that the victim said that she was concerned for her safety, rightfully so. So is the state. I understand that she wants the defendant to have somewhere to lay his head, but we take her safety as the most important priority here. So we're asking for the no contact and to stay away.
I really would not like the no contact and no stay away. I just want him no violent or whatever that is, that
is written. I don't know how to say that word. That word.
And the state would consider that, but because they've had previous cases together, that's why we remain firm in our recommendation.
Right, our first concern, Ms. Walker, is that you are safe.
I
And that
understand.
you can live in your home safely. There has not even been 24 hours just yet since this incident and the arrest. So we usually have what we call a cooling down period, so that
Okay.
everybody can kind of get their emotions back in check and make sure that we don't ever see you all here again.
I don't ever
That
want-
would mean that, the relationship goes where it goes. So I'm going to hear from his attorney and then make a decision, okay?
Mhm.
All right, any questions, Ms. McLeod?
I don't have any questions to Ms. Walker, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you.
My
Ms.
client is 50 years old, Your Honor. He and Ms. Walker have been living together for approximately 5 years on and off. They previously were in New Jersey, and they have been living in the state of Georgia for the past 3 years. Both of their names are on the lease at this particular location, Your Honor. My client told me that he just recently lost his job, so naturally he has no money and he has nowhere else to go, no family here in the state of Georgia. Ms. Walker has expressed that she's not afraid of him. She would prefer no further violent contact. And I am asking the court, based on humanitarian grounds, because he has nowhere else to go. And this is also her wish, if my client could have no further violent contact with Ms. Walker. He's never been arrested in his entire life. He has absolutely no history of any kind of criminal conduct, and certainly no kind of violent behavior. So I would ask the court to consider that a signature bond and the condition be no further violent contact with Ms. Walker. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. I think that I order the signature bond, a $3,000 signature bond, and I'll make that signature bond through the jail. But I am concerned about Ms. Walker's safety. And I know that the defendant has lost his job. He may not be able to find anywhere else to stay. But our first concern is the safety of the victim in this case. And normally what I would order would be a stay away and no further contact, because it hasn't been a full 24 hours yet. And that's the normal course of how we do that, Ms. Walker, is that he stay away so that he can cool off somewhere. It's got to be a friend or somebody that he can stay with and reflect and think on his actions to do better. I mean, there's been a prior incident, so I'm concerned. And want to make sure that there won't be any more incidents. So he's going to get out on a signature bond. Ms. McLeod, I'm not sure what your client wants to say.
If this is not related to your bond, I would advise you not to say anything. If it is not specifically related to your bond, because the state may use whatever you say against you when your case ultimately comes up for trial.
I guess the only thing is hopefully the defendant is going to say he has somewhere to stay.
I do not. I'll stay in my car if I have to, Your Honor. That's fine. I just wanted to ask, what was the other incident that's being referenced?
Mr. Stadinsky, you have a right to remain silent, and I would advise you to exercise that right. This is not your trial. This is merely a bond hearing.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to order the stay away, because I just want to make sure that we don't have any other incidents and that the parties have truly had a cooling off period. And I'm going to order no further contact. I'm hearing the facts of the victim being struck in the face, knocked to the ground. So that's more than just a minor push. So Mr. Stadinsky, no further contact with Ms. Walker right now, unless your attorney applies for a bond modification. You need to stay 200 yards away from her. Do not contact her by phone, by text, by any other third parties. I don't know if he needs a one-time escort back to that location to get his personal belongings. We can order that.
He would need that, Your Honor. I already spoke to him about that.
Okay. A one-time law enforcement escort. Do not go by yourself, Mr. Stadinsky. You must arrange to have a police escort for that, so that once again, you don't violate any of your bond conditions. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns while on bond. Anything else that I left out, counsel?
No, but I think
Stadinsky,
Ms.
you
Walker
can
has a
call
question.
me. Go ahead. I was just going to let my client know that he should give me a call when he's released.
Okay, Ms. Walker.
How long is the stay away for?
While he's on bond.
Okay.
Until the case is resolved. Of course, if at some point I may be able to file a motion to have that modified, but until that happens and the court revisits this.
Where's he gonna sleep?
Order of the court.
He's
Your
got
Honor, I'll be
nowhere
happy
go.
to, Your Honor, I'll be happy to refer him to PAD, a policing alternative diversion program, where they provide housings and resources for houses. So that will be something that I can do.
Okay, great. Thank you, PD Kim.
How much was that?
3,000.
3,000. All right.
Mhm.
I
Were you gonna
appreciate that, PD Kim, because I do not have access to PAD referrals.
Sure, I'll be happy to CC you for the emails.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
were you gonna say something, ASG Walker?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
I think Ms. Walker wanted to say something.
Yes, Ms. Walker.
Sorry, technical difficulties. I understand my safety is most important to the state of Georgia. I understand that completely. But I don't really want the stay away, and I know that's not my choice. I don't want to press charges on him. I don't want any of that. I just want a cool off period and no further violence. That's all I really want. That's all. I don't want a stay away. He's got no job now, and I'm sorry. I don't want to stay away. I just want no further violence. That's all I'm asking for. And a cooling period of 24 hours or whatever that is the norm. That's all. I don't want him sleeping in his car. I mean, he's on this lease.
I understand. And I don't know if the state would incline, I don't know, give it 72 hours or something like that before
Well,
you
I
can
really
go
wasn't
back.
trying to go this far, but no, we're not inclined. While the defendant was not the defendant last time, they just had a case together last year, and Ms. Walker just completed FBIP in 2022, where the defendant was the victim in that case. So that was less than 12 months ago that we had a DV incident. And I believe it was at the same location. I would have to go back and look at that incident. Okay, different location, but nonetheless, same couple, last 12 months. She just
Happened in
completed
2021.
Yeah, but I believe you completed the FBIP in 2022, or I believe that's when the case.
The September, the incident you're speaking of, sir, happened September 19th, 2021. And I followed all the protocols and everything, and
Right.
the case was dropped the whole 9 yards.
Right, because you did pretrial diversion, you did a 6 months program that was completed in 2022. So with that
Yeah,
being
it ran
said,
in 2022.
we just disposed of a domestic violence case less than 12 months ago, and we're back here. So it's really the safety of all parties. I mean, particularly Miss Walker in this instance, because she's the victim now. But we're all aware of the cycles of violence. Sometimes you're the victim, sometimes you're the primary aggressor. I don't have to educate the court on that. But since this is their second time here in 12 months or since 2022, the state is asking for that stay away and no further contact. And to reiterate, that was the wishes of the victim this morning when she spoke to our victim advocate, that she had concerns for her own safety as well as the state. So.
All right, I'm gonna stay with the stay away and then no further contact. And Mr. Stadinsky can talk to his attorney, Ms. McLeod, and she can file the appropriate motion or request to modify it. But right now, I think there needs to be that cooling off period and stay away, no further contact. He's got to be 200 yards from your 2 football fields. And PD Kim is going to make some referrals and give some information on where you can stay in the meantime.
It also helped him to get a job as well. It's a really good program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pat is very good. So they can assist him with a job as well, job search as well. Okay. So that's what we'll do. 3,000 SOB jail. One-time law enforcement escort to return to the property. No further contact with Melanie Walker and stay away. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mona.
Mm-hmm.